Yo, what up, everyone? All right. We live, man. It's about to get my thoughts out here on these airwaves. So for the people that are coming in, man, make sure you hit that like button. Let people know you're in the building. I know a lot of people are cooking on this right now. A lot of people are cooking. I was going to wait to allow a lot of the other channels to go out and get their thoughts out there, man. But you know what? This is the only time that I could do it, so it is what it is. I'm gonna come out here live, give you guys my live reaction, and for those who can't make it in live, y'all can watch it once the live stream is uploaded. My man Megas Allen, first one in the building. I appreciate you dropping by. So look, I talked about this. What was it, a couple days ago? More so talking about the possibility of Errol Spence and Keith Thurman fighting. I still think that that's a very high possibility, and nothing has been announced officially as far as I know. But in the meantime, there has been a war going on, basically. A war on Twitter, a war on social media, a war on YouTube, a war on Instagram Live. And I do find it kind of funny, to be honest with you, that now all of a sudden everybody wants to talk. Now all of a sudden people want to reveal information. Now all of a sudden people want to act like they're tough and pointing fingers and trying to state their case or whatever it may be, man. Because all quiet on the Western Front, or the boxing front is a better analogy, for the longest time while we were all sitting here wondering and waiting and pondering on what the fuck was going on between these two guys and why they're not fighting. Just a couple tweets here and there, and we just assumed that the two men will get it done. Well, now we know that the fight's not getting done because Terence Crawford has decided to move on and fight somebody else. What kind of puts Errol Spence in limbo. He's got to decide what he's going to do. Stay at 147, move up, whatever it may be. And now all of a sudden, the plot thickens, right? And the main reason why the plot thickens, and I'm going to talk about it, is because Bud Crawford decided to go live. I believe it was on his Instagram. I'm not sure where it was or what platform it was originally. But he decides to go live to explain to his fans, the boxing public, and obviously everybody that follows him, on why the fight fell apart, right? So that would happen, a couple days ago. Initially, I was going to go live right away and give my reaction, but everybody was just going crazy on YouTube. And I didn't want to be a part of that I don't know, that cyclone. So I kind of just stayed back a little bit, let people cook on it, and I refrained from watching the entire live stream that Bud dropped, right? I probably listened to a couple of minutes here and there just to kind of see what he was saying, but I told myself, you know what, man, I'm gonna wait to watch the entire thing and give my live reaction to the people that decide to come into the building and hear my thoughts about it, right? Unfiltered, authentic, live reaction to what Bud Crawford is saying on his Instagram Live on why he feels the fight fell apart. So no scripts, no pre-planning, nothing, right? I've heard a little bit of it. I've listened to 78 Cook on it. Blue talked about it. I know Knockout Boxing is talking about it right now. And whatever, everybody has their different opinions. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go give you guys my live reaction. We're going to listen to Bud. You guys probably have already listened to Bud, his live or whatever. I haven't yet. So if you want to bear with me and sit down and listen to it again and get my live reaction, well, y'all about to get it. Now, once I do that, I'll address some tweets. I'll address the Twitter war a little bit between these two guys. I mean, obviously the Twitter war happened after Bud went live, right? And so I have that pulled up on my screen here, which I'll share with you guys shortly and give you guys my thoughts on that whole thing. Look, you know, I can't even, without much preparation, I don't really need much preparation or wrap my head around what I'm about to listen to and what I'm about to look at as far as the Twitter. I haven't seen the tweets, by the way. I've seen like one tweet by Errol, the original tweet, and then Bud responded, but I haven't listened. I didn't look at the whole thread, man. But I don't really need to wrap my head around it, man. Like I'm already solidified on the way I feel about it. I just feel like it's just disappointing all across the board. Just across the board, man. But look, let me cook on this. We got Big Dog and Will. What's up, Big Dog, man? Kenneth Johnson in the building. I appreciate you guys stopping by tonight, taking the time out of your night. Rojai. Oh, most definitely. Oh, most definitely, bro. 168. Hey, I'm going to talk about that, man. I'm super, super excited about that fight, Rojai. Super excited about that fight. Talking about two men that need to fight each other. Hey, Caleb Plant and David Benavidez, it seems like they stepped up to the plate. So we know that it can get done, right? We know that if two fighters want it bad enough, they can get it done. It was proven, and it's been proven many times before. People act like big fights never happen. They happen. They happen all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but they do happen. Like I said, two men want to fight each other bad enough, they figure out a way. And Plant and Benavidez is proof of that because originally Benavidez was going to go fight Usataki, whatever the hell his name is. But look, I'll cook on that another time. You can guarantee that I'm going to drop a fire prediction about that fight because that fight is, I mean, for a lot of people, it's 50-50. So I'm going to be dropping a prediction on that. I'm going to call that fight. I'm going to be putting together Firestorm panels to cook on that. That's a legitimate fight right there. That's a legitimate, like straight down the line, can't get much better. 168 matchup. I mean, that's a fire matchup right there. See, that's what excites me. That's what really excites me as a boxing fan is talking about fights like that. What doesn't excite me is this bullshit that we're seeing on Twitter and this bullshit that we see on these Instagram lives, this bullshit that we keep talking about with two men who are champions, who hold belts, who are in their prime, who should be fighting each other. And they would, it seems like they would rather have Twitter battles and not fight. But, as I always say, y'all been a part of the streams long enough. As I always say, we can sit here and say, oh, man, they're both at fault. Or, oh, it's the promoters. Or it's the powers that be. At the end of the day, somebody is to blame. And I'm talking about the fighters. Somebody's to blame. You can't just put your hands up and be like, oh, well, I'm powerless. I don't have a voice. It's out of my control. Nah, fuck that. No. I've been around talking about boxing too damn long to believe that bullshit. I don't give a damn that it's 2022 going in 2023 and the climate and the scene has changed. Nah, I don't care. You still a man, right? So we're gonna cook on it. For the people that are just joining, Bud's live Instagram. I'm about to give you guys my live reaction on it. I have not watched it. I watched a minute or so of it, and that was just because I tuned into 78, and 78 cooked on it a little bit. But I'm going to give you guys my live reaction. No script, no pre-planning, just straight up reaction on what Bud's talking about. I want to hear what he says. I want to know why the fight fell apart. And then, of course, after he went live, Errol Spence came out on Twitter, and then you had this whole war going on. And I'm going to address the Twitter shit, too, just for the sake of it. My man, King of Kings in the building. What's good, man? He says, look under the tree, no presents again. Well, I mean, in regards to Spence and Crawford, yeah, it's like that. In that regard, we ain't getting no present under the tree. But you get something like Plant Benavidez. That's a nice present. But it's like you wake up Christmas morning when you're a kid. I don't know about y'all family, but like my dad went over the top when I was a kid. Now he played the whole Christmas shit out to a T. Drink the milk, like write letters, all kinds of shit, right? So when you're a kid, I used to write a list to Santa on what we wanted. And so you waking up Christmas morning, you're like, man, I got that new bicycle, man, that new bike. I've been wanting that new bike. And you confident that you're about to get that bike. When you wake up though, you go in there, ain't no damn bike. But maybe you get, some other type of toy that's all right. It's all right. It's pretty good. It's all right. But it's not the bike though. It's not the bike that you wanted. And that's what I feel like Errol Spence and Crawford. That's the bike we wanted on Christmas morning, but we ain't gonna get it. You gotta suck it up. I look over at my dad, be like, damn, I thought Santa was gonna give me that bike. Well, they're out of bikes. The elves can't make no more bikes. You gotta take what you get. Be happy. All right. And that's what it is. Yolanda, what's good? Don, how you doing? Thanks for dropping by tonight. All right, let's get into this. I know, like I said, man, I know Knockout Boxing's cooking on this shit right now. I try not to clash with other channels, man, but unfortunately, I got to get it in when I can get it in. And actually, I want to say this too. Let me just share this shit right quick. I want to say this too, that I would prefer to go live in the morning stateside. It's easier for me because it's night for me. But most of the feedback that I have gotten from followers and subscribers is that they would rather me continue to go live around this time. But the problem is that a lot of channels go live at this time. Obviously people are at home at night tuning into their favorite channels or whatnot. But I'm probably gonna make a poll or something to get you guys' feedback on the best time for me to go live, because I want to try and be able to drop these vids and capture as many people as I can, because YouTube just doesn't, like, I go live about this, I cook, and then YouTube doesn't reach out to everybody, and so everybody can either tune in live or come in afterwards. And a lot of people miss a lot of good content. So I want to make sure that I can go live during a time that can suit everybody. But yeah, I'll probably make a poll and try to accommodate the majority. So be on the lookout for that. But let's get into this video. Where we at? All right, so like I said, man, this will be a live reaction for the people that are just coming in, and make sure you've already hit that like button. Make sure that you've already hit that like button as you come in. All right, let the people know that you're coming in. Yeah. My man Drew swooping by real quick to drop a super chat. I appreciate you, bro. I know you out there doing your thing, man. So much appreciated the time that you swoop by and show some love, man. Much respect to Drew Titan. All right, let's get into this. Let me blow this up a little bit. All right, I'm gonna turn off the music so we all can hear it clear. And I'm gonna give you guys my live reaction. All right, here's Mr. Bud. I haven't seen it, and I know a lot of people have already seen it. Bear with me if you've already seen it. I haven't. So if you've already seen it, try to enjoy my reaction rather than whatever Bud's talking about. What's up, Just Do? What's good with it? All right, let's do it. Let's hear what this man has to say. 21 minutes. I don't know if I can do all 21 minutes, though. That's a long-ass time. So let's see what he says in the first, 5 to 10 minutes.
All right, so listen, y'all. I'm about to give it to y'all raw and uncut. You know, I started talking to Team Spence, I would say, and Al Hammond them about.
So anybody just coming in, I have not seen this yet. This is why I wanted to come on here live and give you guys my live reaction to Bud's explanation on why the fight fell apart.
May, right after his fight, just going back and forth, they sending me a proposal with the interest of Spence and Crawford fight. We didn't get a contract until August, and it was just kind of like a regular contract. It wasn't nothing. It was initial proposal. It wasn't even.
My thing is right off the bat is why does he look so damn happy? Out here smiling, gleaming, starry-eyed looking, like it's all good. Like it's all good. Fight didn't happen. I'm moving on. Like, I don't have anything wrong with people being in a good mood and being positive in life. Right? It's a fucked up world we live in sometimes. But at the same time, I'm a person that reads and feels, energy and body language. You know what I mean? So I'll be able to survive as long as I have in this life, traveling the world and shit. And right off the bat, I feel like, why is this man gleaming like this? I mean, he out here smiling like it's Christmas morning. He got a nice cup of hot chocolate, putting his feet up. Life is good. Well, guess what? Life ain't good for us as boxing fans. I guarantee you what? It ain't good. So I hope you have a lot of shit to say to make this shit clear. We're going to find out. But that's just one thing I wanted to point out right off the bat.
A contract. It was a proposal, and Spence, Crawford, that the intentions of us fighting. Okay, so we going on the basically the negotiations of what a contract would look like before we actually got the actual contract.
And by the way, let me say this too. He's explaining his side, I guess. He's how can I put this? Obviously, he's been getting a lot of pressure and a lot of heat from the media, from fans, inner circles, or whatever for the Errol Spence fight not happening. And also, a lot of people are just not thrilled that not only is the Spence and Bud fight not happening, but the guy he's about to fight, nobody gives a fuck about that fight. Like, let's keep it real. So he's getting heat from that too. So it's like he has to almost come out here and explain it, right? But how he explains it, and I haven't watched it all yet, I'm about to find out, but how he explains it matters. Okay? So I feel like normally when these type of things happen in boxing where a big fight falls apart, the people that explain these things are the promoters, the managers, right? But of course, Bud, him being a free agent, he ain't got no promoter. He's got to do it now. He's got to be the face. He's got to basically be the fighter and the promoter and be able to explain these things. So you got to be able to articulate very well. You got to be able to break it down in simple terms because a lot of people that support you, Bud Crawford, are casual boxing fans. As a matter of fact, I would argue that 80% of the people that support you are casual boxing fans. They don't have the knowledge and the wherewithal that we have as ardent boxing fans / supporters / content creators / media. It's not easy to be a promoter. It's one thing to be a fighter and give your opinion about this fight or that fight, but now you're having to explain a negotiation process, one of the biggest, if not the biggest fight of the year or years to come, falling apart. You got to put on your promoter cap. Are you ready for that? Well, we're about to find out. We're about to find out.
Al goes in to saying a guy that I don't know, never represented me, not affiliated with Team Crawford, have no whatsoever place in Team Crawford's, stable, representing me in a contract which I have no nothing upon that I agreed to. So basically that was a standpoint of what the contract would look like. So basically I'm talking to Al and I'm like, Al, come on, man, I don't even know this guy. How can you do that? And he's like, well, the guy stated he's a part of your team and whatnot. And,
Apologies for the ads, y'all. I don't do no premium shit. YouTube takes enough damn money from me. I refuse to pay the shit, so gotta bear with me. I'm stubborn. I don't give a damn.
going back and back, back and forth, back and forth, I was a good dude, man. I was a, charming guy, he's a cool dude. I kind of like talking to him, but at the same time, Spencer's our guy. I'm not. So of course he's gonna do what's best for, his fighter, his guy. That's like, any other manager / advisor would do. He would do the best for his fighter. So, me and Al, we talks on the phone, I get advice from other guys in PBC. They tell me, be careful, make sure the deal is right.
By the way, you can hear a lot of commotion in the background. Like you can tell that there's a handful of people that are standing behind the camera. I can hear it in my headphones, and probably if you were to wear headphones, you'd be able to hear it much clearer. So it's not him chilling at home by himself, putting up a tripod and talk. There's people there, doing whatever behind the camera. So I want to point that out. You can clearly hear it. Yeah, just do, man. Take care of the family for me, bro. Take care of the family for me.
They tell me make sure you don't get fucked. Just normal things from guys that's in they stable that I'm friends with. I honestly can say I'm friends with. So, we going on and on, and of course me and Al, we going back and forth about, you know,
See, this is the problem with this man or any fighter for that matter, trying to put on the promoter cap. Because I've sat here and listened to him for about 90 seconds. And the only thing that I've heard so far in 90 seconds is I talked to Al, we talked on the phone, we went back and forth, we went around and I talked to Al. I'm cool with Al. And I picked up the phone and I called Al. And we had a lot to say. And it's like, cool. Like, you talked to Al. So what the fuck did you talk about? This is my problem with fighters that want to be their own boss and take the Floyd Mayweather route. I don't have a problem if you want to do that, but you got to make sure that you can dot the I's and cross the T's, and you ready to promote yourself and be able to articulate a message loud and clear. Like I said, man, it's one thing to be a fighter. It's a whole nother ball game to be a promoter and then try to do both at the same time. I have my complaints about promoters all the time. A lot of them are fucking blood-sucking vampires who don't give a shit about fighters. All right? But in the business of boxing, just like since the dawn of time of combat sports, there has been somebody that embodies a promoter, like embodies the essence of a promoter. You need someone that can build a fight and to be able to explain things to the mass. So we don't got time for a 20-minute fucking explanation about how many times you talk to Al Heyman. Let's get to it. And before anybody says, "Oh, Devon, man, come on, man, take it easy on him, bro." Like, it's new to him, or he's a fighter, he's not a promoter. Exactly, he's not a promoter. And you're out here telling the whole world that, oh, I'm my own boss now. Like Spence, I can't do business with him because he's got a boss. I don't. And you're putting yourself on a pedestal. Okay. Well, you got big shoes to fill. If that's the case, Floyd was able to do it. Do I think that Floyd was a phenomenal promoter? Not really. But when you look back at like the Conor McGregor fight, for example, the fight sold, like did crazy numbers, and Floyd was very instrumental in the promotion of that fight. Floyd had experience, right? Sitting back and watching the Oscar De La Hoyas, and he gained a lot of experience with Top Rank and dealing with Bob Arum, and I don't know, man. I just feel like Bud, essentially, from what I'm gathering, listening to this man talk, trying to explain to us on why the fight between him and Spence didn't happen, I feel like he has jumped in the cart before the horse. He's not ready to take on this type of responsibility. That's what I'm sensing. And that's just how I feel about it.
The numbers. We're not going back and forth about anything else. We just going back and forth about the numbers. All in all, I have two companies, that reach out to me that, wanted to give me and Spence $25 million guaranteed $25 million guaranteed up front. So a real guy like myself, I call Spence. Hey, bro, look, listen. You know what I mean?
So words matter, right? Words matter. He said he called Spence. Now, I'm not saying he did it. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But saying that you called Spence, to me, that's serious. That means that you, Bud Crawford, one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world, said, I'm willing to walk through no man's land, essentially, right? Walk from my trench to your trench. Avoid Al Heyman, avoid PBC, avoid everybody, and I'm going to go right to you. I'm going to go right to your doorstep, and we're going to have a conversation as men. Now, maybe you didn't do it in person. You called him on the phone. Okay. Let's see what was talked about then.
I got this company that's willing to give us $25 million a piece, guaranteed. What's up? What you gonna do? He like, 25 million. What about the back end? I'm like, dude, listen. If they make their money back, then we get 80-20. You know what I mean? It's simple math. I said, man, we got people all still in the fight. They got the fire sticks. He laughed. He like, man, I got a fire stick too. I'm like, see? I'm like, man, ain't nobody really buying, you know what I mean, pay-per-views no more. I said, man, we get this upfront money and we good. It's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? But one thing about me and the difference.
So I'm curious about something. And for people that are just joining, I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you hit that like button for me. Let the people know you're in the building, chilling with your boy Divine Sense. I'm curious about something. Do people steal fights? I don't know if stealing is the right word to use, but we'll use it for the sake of argument and conversation. Do people steal fights? Yeah. Live stream it, rip it, use fire sticks like he just mentioned. Oh, for sure. For sure. There's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of some people just simply can't afford it. Some people are, quite frankly, not motivated to buy a fight, right? They're not really that motivated to buy a certain fight. They're kind of interested in it, but are they going to spend $50, $60, $70, $80 on it? Nah, it's not appealing enough for me to put that type of money into it. So they find a way to stream it. Okay. There are a lot of reasons why. But my question is that Bud is saying, hey, yo, we can go with this new promotional company, whatever it's called, Black Prime or whatever it's called. And he said, we can't depend on pay-per-view. He's basically saying we can't depend on pay-per-view numbers being able to, being sold at a high number because it is a new promotional company and people are stealing fights. So they're not going to be able to get the money that they should in a normal circumstance. And that guarantees us less money as the fighter. So what I'm saying is that if you sign this deal or you agree to this deal, you and I both will get a guarantee regardless of what the pay-per-view numbers do. Now, I'm curious about something. If this new promotional company is willing to give both Spence and Crawford a massive guarantee, he mentioned the numbers, whatever. Let's say they both get one fighter gets 40 million, the other fighter gets 30 million. I don't know. The numbers don't really matter, to be honest, because it's going to be more money that either one of these fighters have ever made in their entire career, regardless. What's relevant to me and what I'm curious about is if Bud is saying that this new promotional company is not confident that they'll be able to sell pay-per-view because people are just going to steal it and not purchase it, but they're still able to give both fighters a guarantee. Well, my question is, where's that money coming from? Where's that money coming from? Because if I were to take a few steps back from what I heard originally, when PBC and Errol Spence, Al Heyman, sent a contract to Bud, and one of the reasons why the negotiations fell apart and why Bud, according to him, didn't sign that contract was because he wanted, and I quote, transparency on where the money was coming from. So I'm confused about that. You wanted transparency on where the money was coming from PBC, a company that has put massive fights together multiple times. Wilder Fury, for example. Right? So why are you worried about a company that already has a proven track record of selling pay-per-view and also guaranteeing money to fighters and putting on phenomenal trilogies and being part of some of the biggest fights that we've ever seen? I think Keith Thurman and Pacquiao is another one. You're worried about that transparency, but then you're trying to convince Errol Spence to not worry about transparency when you're trying to promote the idea that this new company, who doesn't have a track record of putting on big fights and selling pay-per-view, you want Errol Spence to be okay and just believe him that they're going to be able to get this guarantee. You don't want Spence to say, can I have some transparency here? Where's this $80 million coming from? If it's a new company / they're not even confident that they can sell pay-per-view because they're worried, according to you, that fights are being stolen. So I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to make sense of all of this. I have no dog in this fight. I'm trying to figure out, as a boxing fan, why this fight fell apart. Now, credit to Bud for coming out and trying to explain his side, quote unquote. I don't think he's doing a great job trying to put on the promoter's cap and play that role, but that's my opinion. But through the explanation process, I'm a critical thinker. That's who I am, right? I don't take things for face value. I don't take things just because it sounds good. Okay, and I'm gonna play back the tapes of history.
I would say the difference between me and the difference between Spence is I'm really my own boss now, and he's not. He got to go through Al. He got to go through, his team and ask them if he can do certain things that I don't have to no more. Yeah, I'm.
Quick pause, and I apologize for pausing, but I got to get these thoughts out. All right, if y'all want to watch this video, y'all can go watch it without any interruption. But the whole point of this is to give my reaction. This is reminiscent of Floyd saying in the beginning stages of negotiation before he was going to fight Pacquiao, Floyd kept reiterating that. They're like, I'm my own boss. Manny Pacquiao's not. Manny Pacquiao has to answer to Bob Arum in Top Rank. So don't get mad at me. Okay? It sounds very familiar, what Bud is saying here. But the problem is, Bud is not Floyd. Bud is not even close to Floyd in regards to selling big fights and making a shitload of money. By the time Floyd approached the negotiation table to fight Manny Pacquiao, Floyd was not only a boxing star and one of the best to ever do it, but Floyd was a mega pay-per-view star, if not the biggest pay-per-view star in boxing, like ever. So Floyd had experience, And Floyd knew what the fuck he was talking about when he said these type of things. Bud just became his own person. He's out here talking like he's Floyd Mayweather. Like, I'm my own boss, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. You got to answer to this guy and that guy. That's not my problem. But it sounds very reminiscent. It sounds like they're taking a script from Floyd Mayweather's book here. But Floyd was light years. By the time he was getting ready to fight Pacquiao, he was light years ahead of Bud Crawford when it came to these type of situations, promoting fights, made millions upon millions of dollars promoting his own fights already. So I want to put that out there. Gnarly Ray in the building was good. G5, my man, in the building was good with you. Lennar, what's good with you? I appreciate you stopping by tonight. Make sure you hit that like button for me. Much love. If you guys want to come become an official member of the channel, all you got to do is slide down, hit that join button. Not the subscribe button, but the join button. Become an official member. Get those badges like my man G5 has and some of the others in the chat and gain some perks, and just offer that small little donation every month to show love to the channel, and I appreciate you immensely. Let's keep it moving.
Might have had to when I was with Top Rank because I was signed to Top Rank and they was my promotional company. So of course I had to go to Top Rank and ask them to get me this fight or do this for me or do that for me because I was obligated to do certain things by their standard because I was signed to them.
Right.
But now that I'm a free agent and I'm free to do whatever I want, I'm the one sitting at the table. I'm the one that's talking directly to these high individuals.
Right. So, see, to me, that's an issue. And I'm going to keep drilling that home. I'm going to keep reminding people why it's an issue. Bud has zero experience of being his own promoter. He has zero experience of putting these type of fights of this magnitude together. What do you think Al Heyman and PBC think when they're talking to Bud on the phone or trying to negotiate with Bud about this massive, let's be real, this massive business deal? Because that's what it is. What do you think that's in their mind? They're probably thinking like, man, this guy, he don't know how this shit works. He just got here. Once again, Floyd, by the time he was about to fight Manny Pacquiao, had already been an established self-promoter / pay-per-view mega star. Y'all following me what I'm saying? And not to mention, Floyd had another ingredient that was very instrumental in his success, and that was Leonard Ellerbe. So who is Bud's Leonard Ellerbe? Somebody let me know in the chat, because maybe I'm missing something. But I want to make that abundantly clear. He's putting on the promoter coat, the promoter cap. I'm my own boss now. I'm a free agent. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I don't need Bob or anybody to speak for me. I can go to Al. I can go to the fighter. I can go and do everything myself. But what experience do you have, bro? You have never once sold a mega fight by yourself as a self-promoter. Your very first attempt to do it is the biggest fight in boxing. This shit is chess, not checkers. This is a business at the end of the day. As much as I hate to admit it, and I wish fighters can just meet and shake hands and say, all right, you get 20, I get 20 milli, we get paid, let's fight. It doesn't work like that. This is a business. And I'm a business operator myself. I own multiple businesses. So I know what it's like when I sit at a negotiation table and have to do a business deal. And I know across the way who I'm dealing with. If I'm dealing with somebody that has a track record, has experience, they know what the fuck they're talking about, they know how to get shit done, I'm more likely going to do business with them in comparison to somebody who's just fresh off the street, who just became an entrepreneur and got a little bit of inheritance money, and he's out here trying to make a business deal with me. And you best believe I'm going to question his ability or her ability to be able to negotiate properly and make sure that I'm not going to lose money. And I'm going to make sure that I have transparency to save my business. Now, see, I'm in full support of anybody with an entrepreneurial mindset. You want to grow yourself, not have a boss, be your own boss. More power to you. I salute you, and I support and promote anybody that wants to do that. That's what I've done most of my life. But you got to start the right way. You don't just become an entrepreneur overnight and then say it's like a rapper, right? You rapping in your basement or in your closet, you drop a couple singles, you're feeling good about yourself. All your boys are like, man, shit, man, you fire, bro. Like you better than all these dudes out here. Like you can actually blow up with these singles, right? You got your boys gassing you up and shit. Then you get a little bit of money from somewhere to be able to get into a studio and drop a proper album. You take that album and you go straight to Dr. Dre. You trying to do some Eminem shit. You go straight to Dre. You go straight to whoever, like the top, record labels, record companies there are. And then expect them to just be like, oh yeah, sure, y'all, let me give you a guarantee 20 milli. You're on the label. Congratulations. It doesn't work like that. Right? Like Eminem going 8-mile battles, having to go and earn his way and go through a bunch of bullshit to even get his tape to Dr. Dre. It wasn't like, he dropped the track and sent it off and Dre was like, oh yeah, let's go. Like I'll take this white dude on. Like it doesn't work like that. You have to take the right steps. Now you can put together a David Aviansan or whatever the hell his name is. You can put that fight on, being a self-promoter. Because I mean, who is this guy? You can put that fight on. But my point is, you have just started this campaign to be your own self-promoter, your own brand, your own boss. And you say, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to try to promote and put together the biggest fight that boxing has seen in quite some time since Hagler Hearns and pretty much in the same division. So that's what you're trying to do. And it fell apart. So, pieces start coming together, ladies and gentlemen. Pieces start slowly coming together. A lot of people are sitting out here criticizing and critiquing, the lies and the deception and Bud's cap and Spence's cap and this guy cap. How about we step aside from all of that? We take away the layers. Let's look at the fucking roots of this shit. Let's look at the foundation of why a lot of this shit has fallen apart. I'm explaining it to you right now. Nobody's even talking about this. And I've listened to a lot of channels cook on this topic. They spend a lot of time and energy dissecting tweets and, pulling up receipts about, oh, remember when Bud said this? Oh, remember when Earl said that? For me, fuck all of that. And look at the foundation of what we're really looking at here. We have a man that has never promoted a fight in his life, stepping out, being his own promoter, and campaigning himself as like, oh, look at me, look what I've done for myself. I'm my own man now. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Kind of demanding accolades when you haven't done shit to gain accolades as a promoter. And you're trying to construct and negotiate one of the biggest fights that are available to us right now in boxing. And you're gonna put the blame on Al Heyman and Errol Spence. They've been doing business, bro. They have been doing business, bro, for a hot minute, putting together big fights, massive fights. Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, the Fury Wilder trilogies. They know what needs to be done. Do you, though? Oh, I'm going to go over here to Black Prime. They're going to guarantee a Earl, because he said, I called Earl. Hey, Earl, guess what, bro, man? Hey, don't worry about Al. Don't worry about PBC. Let's go over here to Black Prime. They feel like they can't sell the pay-per-view. You know, they're a new company and shit, and they also believe people steal fights. So they're not confident that they're going to be able to get those pay-per-view buys. But guess what, bro? That don't matter to us. They have guaranteed both of us to make 30, 40, 50 million. So we good, family. We good. So if you're Errol Spence, you're like, well, wait, what'd you say again? First off, you want me to say fuck Al Heyman. You want me to say fuck PBC. You want me to agree with you to go to a new promotional company that I haven't even fucking heard of, by the way. Now you're telling me that they're not confident that they can sell pay-per-view, but yeah, we're still going to get a bag. And you want me to be okay with that? I'm asking you, where the fuck is that money coming from? Oh, bro, don't worry about that. It has nothing to do with us, bro. It has nothing to do with us. We get a bag. That's all that matters. You know, if they go bankrupt after this fight, that's on them. So hold up. Well, which one is it? Are you trying to help this new promotional company grow? Black Prime, you know, promote black fighters. I mean, I don't know what their MO is. But it seems to me that you're trying to help this new company, this new promotional company. They're going to give us the fights that we want to see, X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, you're saying that, if they go bankrupt, it is what it is. They give us a big-ass bag. They don't sell shit in pay-per-view. They got no money coming in the back ends. And the company crumbles and falls apart. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, boxing promotional companies that have come out of nowhere and try to put their hand in the honeypot of boxing have crumbled and failed multiple times. You hear about them, and then they disappear. They try to put a big fight together. They invest a shitload of money into it, and they end up shooting themselves in the foot. You never hear about the company ever again. It has happened. And boxing, MMA, all combat sports. It happens all the time. It's a dirty, nasty, tough business to be a part of. What's up, Calvin? What's up, MStacks85? What's good with you? All right, I'll keep it moving, man. I hope y'all following me what I'm saying. I really do hope y'all following me what I'm saying. Okay? Because a lot of people, and you know you guys are going to get it different. You guys, you know you're going to get it different over here on Divine Sense Boxing. That's why you tune in. Y'all want to get the receipts. Y'all want to dissect this fighter, that fighter, who's capping, who's not capping. Plenty of channels out there to entertain you with that. But for me, I love to go all the way down to the roots. Fuck the tree, fuck the branches, fuck the leaves, fuck all of it. Right to the roots. What are we really looking at here?
Errol Spence not talking to, Terence Crawford about the fight. Errol Spence wasn't at the table. Errol Spence can't tell you or show you a contract that, says Terence Crawford, Errol Spence.
No, because he's a fighter. Why would Errol Spence do that?
That he was there on the negotiations of. He can't do it.
I feel like it's like him. It's like a massive bravado thing for Bud. Like, I feel like it's a lot of look at me, look at what I can do. I'm a promoter. He's not. I have this power. He doesn't have any power. You know, I can call Al. I can call Earl. He can't. He's restricted. You know, a lot of this look at me shit. But because of all this bravado and ego and pride, that's another reason why this fight fell apart. People, pay attention. You know, going into negotiations, Bud, now that you're a promoter, I'm talking to you now, bro. You know, going into the negotiations, that Errol Spence is a fighter. He's not a promoter. You know this. So why are you bringing it up like you have a one-up on Earl? You say in one breath, oh, I understand, Earl, he's got Al and shit. I understand that. Al's put him into position that he's in. But then in the next breath, you basically clown on the man because he's not a promoter like you. But let's not forget that at one point in time, you were going to sue Top Rank for this reason and that reason, and specifically Bob Arum. And then you retracted those statements and you pulled back from the lawsuit. And you act like none of that even, now you pretend like none of that even happened.
He had to go back and ask Al for permission, if he can, take this big chunk of lump sum of money to fight Terence Crawford, which he didn't call me back. So I proposed it to Al. I hit up Al. I'm like, Al, listen, man, I got this big hedge fund company out here. They claim they know you. Not one, but two. Not one, but two. Two companies willing to put 20 plus million in both of our pocket, guaranteed. Al tell me straight up, I'm not letting nobody touch this fight. Like, all right, cool. But I'm like, why? He like, why would you want to put a ceiling on yourself? Why you want to put a cap on yourself? I'm like, well, that's not putting a cap on myself if this company is taking a risk and, risk, high risk, high reward. If that's the case.
That literally makes no sense. Flawless Mentality was good with you. I appreciate you stopping by. T. Scott, I see you in the building, man. I don't know if I shouted you out now, man, but I appreciate you stopping by tonight. Make sure y'all get those likes all the way up. All the way up, people. Go ahead and vote in that poll. We got a poll going, too. What he just said doesn't make any sense to me. He said he reached out to Al. He said, Al, look, man, this new company, they're going to guarantee us both $20 million each. So 50-50, right? $40 million total. And he said that Al told him, nah, I ain't letting nobody touch this fight. Why? Well, why would you put a ceiling on yourself? That's a good fucking question. Why would you put a ceiling on yourself, bud? When potentially, if you let PBC promote the fight will be more than $40 million. It will be more than $40 million. So not only are you saying, I want to put all my faith and cards on the table on this new promotional company which hasn't done shit in boxing ever to be the headline of this mega fight, you're going to say, oh, I'm cool with 20 mil. I want Earl to be cool with 20 mil. And if this promotional company falls apart right after the fight, not my problem. Not to mention that PBC has been promoting Errol Spence for how many years now and how many big fights? And you expect Al Heyman to be cool with that? Are you fucking kidding me? Serious. You expect Al Heyman and PBC to be cool with you basically saying, hey, can you just step aside real quick? Like, hey, just step aside real quick, man. Like, just be cool with the fact that me and Earl, we're going to get this 20 mil. We got this guarantee bag. And PBC, y'all don't have to worry about like trying to sell shit or whatever. Like, we'll handle business over here and we'll talk about it later. Who are you? Who are you, bud? To make these type of negotiations and these type of demands and come up with these grand ideas and grand schemes and you're confused, you're surprised that PBC and Al Heyman will look at you crazy like, well, hold up. Who are you? Oh, you're Bud, the pound for pound best fighter. Oh, you're a promoter now. Oh shit. Oh, you promote. Oh, my bad, bro. You're a promoter now. Oh, let me give you that respect too. I'm trying to give you the respect for being pound for pound best. I'm trying to match you up with my fighter, who's a 3-belt holder in the welterweight division. So I'm trying to give you that respect so we can all make money here under a promotional company that has already proven success. Oh, my bad, bro. Oh, you want me to send my fighter over to this new promotional company, and you want him to be cool with just 20 mil. But guess what? I'm not cool with that, because if you turn the reins over to us, PBC, a proven company who has helped fighters, put on mega fights, make more money than they've ever had. They have a track record and history of that. Well, I'm here to tell you, bud, I think my fighter Errol Spence can make more than 20 million, because this fight is worth more than 40 million total. You want 50-50? Cool. Let's sit down and talk about 50-50. You want me to be cool with releasing my fighter to this new company who has not proven itself. And by the way, where's this 40 million coming from? Oh, you're the one that said you wanted transparency. When we offered you money, when we offered you the 60-40 split or whatever it was, you said, oh, man, I need a little bit more transparency. But when we ask you for transparency about this new company, then, oh, hey, don't worry about that. We got to guarantee 20 mil. So don't worry about the transparency. Don't worry about that money. Turn up the volume. Turn up the volume.
I can't seem to see a fight that's been doing millions, since Floyd and them. So, that was an altercation, I asked Al, I said, since this fight is dragging on with me and Spence, and we can't get things together, why don't I come out and meet you where
M-Stacks, he was trying to make the fight. They weren't. Who was they and who was he? Just want to make sure that I understand you correctly. And by the way, guys, I literally have no dog in this fight. I literally don't. This is the first time I'm listening to Bud speak. I'll put it on everything. I listened to a little bit here and there because I did go and listen to other channels speak on it. But listening to the entire interview or this live, I'm speaking from the heart about what I'm gathering. I don't have any reason to come at anybody, but I'm keeping it real. And I like I said, man, I'm not bringing up receipts and I'm not bringing up none of that shit, man. I'm going off of what this man is saying, and I'm giving you guys my expertise in commentating on the sport of boxing for the better part of a decade. That's my job as a content creator, to inform the people. SM in the building, another official member of the channel. I appreciate you. What's good with it? No Smoke TV, a.k.a. Have, in the building. What's good with you?
my lawyer, and we just wrap it up. Just me and you and my lawyer. Al said, his mother was, not doing too well, and I honor that and I respect that. Family first. I'm a family oriented type of guy, so I know what it is, to put your family first. So I'm cool with that. But then again, as negotiations still drag on, and I had stated that I wanted to fight in this year. I asked Al again because we seemed like we wasn't getting nowhere. So I asked Al. I said, Al, listen, why don't you get Spence and you, since you his representative, and I'll get myself and my lawyer, and we just make this fight. Anything we gotta do, we can do it right there and sign, seal, deliver. And Al told me straight up, that ain't never happened in the history of ever, where two fighters sit down at the table and they come to an agreement and they get a fight made like that.
Now, let me pause it there real quick. First, I want to recognize my man Monopoly Inc. Music, man. Much love, bro. I appreciate you in the super chat. He says, never seen people play about something this serious. Facts. Appreciate the support, bro. So and M Stacks, bro. I see your comment, bro. I'm gonna address it here in a second. Look, I don't know how true that is. I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. He's saying that Al Heyman told him that I don't want you and Earl to meet in person because that's never happened in the history of the sport. That's a pretty bold claim. Now, traditionally speaking, do fighters meet up and negotiate? Well, no. Well, that's why you have promoters. That's why you have promoters. And promoters do the negotiating. They have the advisement from the advisors / managers, and they know what the fighters want or what they're cool with and what they're not cool with. They take that information to a negotiation table, they hash it out, and they make fights. But it's, like I said, it's a bold statement to say that, oh, I'm telling Errol Spence not to meet you. I'm telling Errol Spence to stay away from you. That's a bold claim. Now, I don't know how true it is, because essentially it's Bud's word against Al Heyman's word or Errol Spence's word on that one. But if it is true, yeah, that's fucked up. If Al Heyman did, in fact, say to Bud, like, look, man, I don't want you talking to Earl. I don't want you guys to meet. It's never happened in the sport. If you want to make a deal, you got to go through me. If that's true, that's fucked up. But I don't know how true that is. And quite frankly, I can't just go off of faith that it is true. No disrespect to Bud. But, but Bud has been known to cry wolf. And I've already went live for however long it's been now, explaining those things, explaining how he's cried wolf about things. And maybe it's not crying wolf per se, but it's definitely like inconsistent and inconsistencies and just attempting to do things when you just don't have experience in doing it. And when people do things that they don't have experience in doing it and they fail, or it doesn't happen the way they thought it would happen, then they start to rationalize. They're trying to rationalize why it didn't go the way they thought it was going to go. So sometimes they get bold ideas. CB Sports TV, what's good with you? Somebody take care of this dude in here trolling, man. I don't got time for none of that bullshit. All right, I see you guys handled him. I see y'all I see my man Demon handle it. And man, you handle these motherfuckers, bro.
Not even Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. So I'm like, okay, well, it's the first time for everything. I never heard.
First off, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd. It goes without saying, right? You can't mention any of these big fights trying to be made when there's two different promotional companies without mentioning Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao essentially crushed all doubts that a big fight cannot happen because it's two different promotional companies. They crushed that narrative because they made it happen. Now, Floyd's his own promoter. So, for sure, Floyd, Leonard Ellerbe, and his team, they went to the negotiation table to talk to who? Top Rank and Bob Arum. Was Manny Pacquiao there? Probably not. But they got it done. They got it done. But Floyd was there. Floyd was there.
Of a fighter ever taking zero guarantee in a fight.
Hey, can you see what I'm doing wrong with this exercise right?
I never heard of a fighter of a 4-rounder taking 0% of a guarantee. That is something that's new to me, but that's something that I was willing to do to make this fight happen. You know, a lot of people, you know, they say, "Oh, well, Terence, you ducked," or "Terence, you did this and you didn't want to fight Spence." I'm the only one that was taking all the risks. You know, I told him, "All right, cool. I take no guarantee. I take, you know what I mean, the less end of this."
All right, I'm confused again. So you're saying you're taking all the risks, only you. Well, it's already a risk to start off with, whether it's admirable or not, to become your own promoter. That's a risk within itself in boxing. When 98% of fighters have a promoter to handle their business, that's a risk. You go out on a limb and become your own man, become your own business, which I support it. But let's be real, and I keep reiterating this, you have no experience on promoting a fight, let alone one of the biggest fight in boxing. One of, if not the biggest fight in boxing. You have zero experience being your own promoter. So let's keep it real. Secondly, first you were promoting the idea that you and Errol Spence will get a guarantee. Errol Spence, you should take this because we will get a guarantee. Now you're saying that you were willing to take no guarantee. Which one is it?
The money, you know, whatever it is you want, I'll take it because that's how much confidence I got that I'm gonna beat that man. That's how much confidence I got I'm gonna beat that man. So, you know, even though I know I was getting fucked in the long run, I just, you know, wanted a little
I'm trying to be patient. Oh God, please give me patience. Patience. So you say that I knew I was getting fucked. So what's the alternative? You're getting fucked because, well, from what I heard, you were offered a 60-40 split, but because you weren't getting a guarantee, that upset you. And you were not willing to agree to that because maybe you felt that Errol Spence would somehow pocket some back-end money that you wouldn't have access to. So you felt like you were getting fucked. So the alternative is to go to a company, an unknown company that has proven nothing, that gives you a guarantee of 20 mil, Errol Spence 20 mil. So you're saying by a 60-40 split with Errol Spence and PBC promoting the fight, with a 60-40 split, you would make less than 20 million? You'd make less. You would make less than 20 million. That's what you're telling me. So you know this for a fact. You know with the 60-40 split or a 55-45 split, you would make less than 20 million. So go with plan B and go with an unproven promotional company so I can get a guaranteed 20 million. Am I getting that right? I'm just making sure. I'm making sure that I'm getting it right.
transparency. I said, okay, if I'm gonna bet on myself and I'm gonna go against all the odds, then I wanna, you know what I mean, a little transparency. Of course, you know, I want to be able to write off on, you know, things that's gonna affect my check. Of course, I want to see if the numbers add up to what they telling me. You're not gonna go in. It's just simple to me to think that a person will go in a business with a person 50-50, and this person would tell them, well, you got to give me 50
Bro, Ghetto, whatever the fuck your name is, shut your bitch ass up.
percent down, and I give you 50%, and then you say, oh, well, I'm not going to tell you how much we really made, but I'm going to just give you this. You just got to trust me. Come on now. It don't make no sense. I never was offered a guarantee, not once. I never, you know what I mean, was given anything.
Let me highlight this comment right here by Don Dada. My guy Crawford got a bad contract just like Haney, but everyone was crying bloody murder for Haney. Let me address that. I'm going to assume, and I give you the benefit of the doubt, Don Dada, that Bud was getting the short end of the stick. He was getting fucked over, like Bud said in his little live stream here. And he was getting a bad contract deal. 60-40 split was a bad contract deal with no guarantee, right? So we'll go off that. And that's similar to Haney and his contract with Kambosos, right? Now, I agree with you. Haney got a bad contract deal. But here's the irony. And you know this, Don Dada. You're smart. You're a smart individual. Guess what Haney did, though? He took the fight. Not once, but twice in a foreign country. Bud did not take the fight. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about money? Are we talking about bad deals? Are we talking about no guarantees? Are we talking about splits? Are we talking about promotional companies? Are we talking about I'm a boss and he's not? He has a boss, I don't. Or are we talking about legacy? Are we talking about what matters? Are we talking about, all right, bet, I'll do this to make the fight happen, just like Haney said, I'll do this to make the fight happen. And then when it falls in my lap, and now I have the negotiating power because I beat your ass, just like Haney beat Kambosos' ass twice. And Bud's so confident that he should be able to beat Earl's ass. Then the power of negotiation swings your way. And at the end of the day, you cement your legacy. Nobody is going to give a damn. When it's all said and done, the history books are written about how much money Bud and Errol Spence made. Who got the bigger purse split? Who got the guarantee? Who didn't get the guarantee? The only thing that boxing fans and boxing history cares about is who beat who and who was the better fighter. Devin Haney proved that he was better than Kambosos, not once, twice. And because Devin Haney made that decision, and I agree with you 1,000%, Don Dada, and everyone else who cried bloody murder about the bullshit contract that Haney agreed to. But one thing that we also have to agree to is because Devin Haney did make that decision, he's put himself in a power position. And now he can literally say to any fighter that he fights going forward, whether it's Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Steve, whoever it is, he can say, fuck you. I've already did more than I had to. And I'm going to make sure that I come out on top now. He's earned that. So, bro, Ghetto, what the fuck are you doing here then, bro? What are you doing here? If you don't like what the fuck I'm saying, then what the fuck are you doing here? I'll do you one better. You feel some kind of way, click the link and speak your mind. Or shut your bitch ass up. There's the link.
want this fight? We gonna fuck you, and then you know what I mean. You got what you want. But you know, that's how much confidence and faith I have in myself. You know, I took it all. I took it all. I took the risk. You know, big risk, big reward. That's how I look at it. And I believe in my abilities, and I believe in myself. So I'm like, it's whatever. You know, Errol Spence, he can't say the same. He can't say the same. You know, he on audio saying Al Heyman, Al Heyman gonna make sure he's good. He's in the best position to win this fight. Of course he is. He supposed to. You know, you got everything surrounding you to help you. You know, so people mad at me because Al told me if I don't take this fight, he's just gonna go and Errol Spence gonna make 8 million, eight figures. He's gonna make 8 figures without me. So basically, he telling me, well, you take this fight or leave it, or you got nothing. Basically, because we've been dragging and dragging and dragging. So when
All right, I feel like 88 Sports Talk was good. All right, bro, get it. I'm waiting, bro. But I'm not gonna wait forever. All right, bro, what's good with it?
Niggas.
What?
Nigga.
See, that's what happens. That's the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I think I've listened to enough of this, to be honest with you. It's 20 minutes long, 13 minutes into it. I pretty much honed in on all the points that I needed to hone in on. You know, I'm more interested to find out if in fact everything that Bud is saying is true, and the negotiations fell apart because Al Heyman, Spence, and they were trying to fuck Bud over, and Bud got a bad contract, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If I assume that all that's true, then my next question is why David Avianson then? And I have yet to get an answer on that. So the link is in the chat. I'm more than happy for anybody to come in and explain that. Okay. And if you try to come in here like that bitch ass that just tried to come in here right now, you'll be banished to the shadow realm. I don't got time for no bullshit. We got grown ass men or women coming in here, speaking their mind, or getting embarrassed. Period, point blank. But that's my biggest question. And I'll say it one more time, if everything that Bud said in his live is true, Errol Spence ducked him. Errol Spence has no power. He has no control. He has no say. He's powerless. Al Heyman got in the way. PBC got in the way. They try to fuck Bud over. All this shit that Bud went live 20 minutes explaining is true. Then my question is, why did he choose to fight David Avianson out of all people when he could have fought multiple other fighters that have way more credibility, higher status, more of a threat. And quite frankly, you talk about money and how you're getting fucked over. So you're telling me that a David Evianson fight is going to bring more money than a Boots or a Virgil Ortiz or even a Stanionis, who you can challenge for the other, what is it, the WBO? I can't remember if it's WBO or WBA that is split between Stanionis and Errol Spence. So you can't take any of those fights. So you're trying to, you want me to believe that all those names that I just mentioned are a less draw and less money than David Evianson, who nobody fucking even knows who it is. Majority of people don't even know who that is. But because you got this guaranteed money from a promotional company that also nobody knows about, then it's the safest way, right? It's the safest route literally possible. It is the safest route possible. Money-wise, you get a guarantee. And rather it's a smart business move or not by Black Prime or not, you don't really, I mean, let's be honest, you don't really care if they succeed or not. You're trying to get paid. Let's keep it real, bud. Okay? So you get your guaranteed money. And on top of that, you take the least riskiest fight. And I'm not trying to discredit or attack David like that. I respect all fighters that enter between the ropes and put their life on the line, with all due respect. But I'm keeping it real. You took a guaranteed amount of money against a guy that, nobody, including yourself and probably David, if I'm being 100% honest, thinks that, Bud's going to lose that fight. David has to pull off a miracle. Massive upset, reminiscent of Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. That's what he's got to do. So you took the least riskiest fight, and you took a guaranteed payday. You literally took the safest routes possible for your next fight. And Bud fans are okay with that. They're cool with that. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. I know Bud's got the the WBO. But what I'm saying is Stanionis is the regular champ, I think, of the WBA, and Spence is the super or whatever of the WBA. It's split. The two titles are split. There's two champions for the WBA. And Bud could have fought Stanionis for one of those straps. And he could have fought Boots, and he could have fought Virgil Ortiz. And he elected not to. Boxing Realm, what's on your mind?
Well, Bud. Nigger.
This is literally the world that we live in. And I don't even need to talk about it. It pops up every single day. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, these people that are jumping on the live, saying these type of things and acting this way, these people are amongst you and in your everyday life. At work, at the movie theater, at the restaurant, acting and pretending that they're cool with you. But deep down, they have a hatred for you because they're evil and sick and fucked up people. And they have an opportunity to come on here and hide their face and say what they really, truly feel. So keep your head on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel and only trust those who have proven their trust. I don't even got to speak on it. I can make a whole podcast about the evil that surrounds us every single day. and I have real life experience dealing with the man. The man. I have real life experience of being stripped of dignity, being locked up, and having to deal with a lot of bullshit. And I could go off on a long fucking episode and explain it, but look, when people do these type of things, man, hey, they make my message easier. Bro, get him, man. You a fucking troll too. You've been blocked. Get the fuck out of here. All right, so look. The only question that I have, if we're all going to sit back, not all of us, but if you're going to take the position to say, well, we don't really know what happened in the negotiations, Divine, we don't know who's right, who's wrong. What we do know is that the fight fell apart, and it is what it is. You want to take the middle line, the unbiased stance, the peaceful stance, stay in the gray zone, be agnostic about it, then cool. Then my question is, why did Bud decide to fight the number 5 guy, and in some sanctioning bodies is like number 7, number 8, a guy that nobody knows, a guy who's really not a true threat to his title or his reign? And he literally did that because it would be the easiest way to get a guaranteed amount of money and the safest route to victory. And that's what it is. And if you're okay with that, then I have issue with that. Rather you're a Bud fan or not, I have an issue with that. Because there's the old saying, right? Like, the proof is in the pudding. Your actions speak louder than words, that type of shit. Our moms told us that. Our grandmothers told us that. Our grandfathers told us that growing up. Actions speak louder than words, right? See Bud going in, trying to explain himself, going on a 20-minute live stream, trying to break down the details of the negotiation process with Errol Spence, right? He put a massive effort behind that. Massive effort. Put a lot of energy into that, trying to explain to the people why we couldn't get the fight that we deserved. But if everything that he is saying is true, and Errol Spence is a duck, and Errol Spence avoided Bud, or Errol Spence would have fought him if, he can fuck Bud over, financially and take most of the money. Whatever the case is, right? If everything that Bud is saying true, Bud had a way to nullify all of it. Bud had an avenue to prove to the people that, in fact, I wanted to fight against Spence badly, and Spence was trying to fuck me over and or was scared of me. And I'm going to prove my worth at the highest level possible, which would be to do the next best thing other than Errol Spence, right? That would mean fight a fighter that would be second to an Errol Spence fight, essentially. Somebody that is your fucking direct number 1 mandatory for the WBO, who, by the way, is not David Avianson, and prove that point. Actions speak louder than words. And I'm the type of person, I don't really know what happened in the negotiation process. Bud is saying one thing, Earl saying another. I don't fucking know. I wasn't there. I have my questions. I have my doubts. I've been live now for an hour and 30 minutes breaking down to you people where I'm confused about the things that Bud is saying. But do I really know beyond a shadow of a doubt what really happened and who's really at fault? No. See, that's the beauty of not knowing. That is the beauty of being agnostic about these type of things and not investing a lot of emotions and energy. There are channels out here who make videos about Bud Crawford like 5 times a week. You don't see that over here. I don't invest that type of energy. But the reason for that is because I don't know. That's who I am as a person by nature. You can tell me 1,000 times until you're blue in the face that Bud is wrong. I can say, man, you make some good points here and there. Oh, that's something for me to think about. But I don't know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was, in fact, 100% Bud. So how does Divine Sense Boxing's brain work? How do I approach life in general? It's very simple. I'm going to give you 9 times out of 10, Unstoppable and Sturdy Spice in the building was good with you. I'm going to give you 9 times out of 10 the benefit of the doubt and assume that you're right. But you got to prove that your actions speak louder than words to give me confidence that you are an honest person. So let me put it in perspective. You guys know how I love making analogies when it comes to women. I love women. Can't keep my hands off them. Can't live with them, can't live without them. The ironies of life. I like to make a lot of analogies toward it, right? Because sometimes you love them and sometimes you can't fucking stand them. Just like boxing. So I'll give you guys another analogy. It's like you trying to date a chick, right? You putting some extra effort into it because she told you, nah, I need a man that like proves himself, that really shows interest and really tries to get to know me. And he's got to put some work in because, I ain't that type of chick. Like, I don't get down like that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, he's got to put extra work. So you've been doing that. Taking her out for lunch, picking her up on her lunch break, taking her out, spending money on her. You know what I mean? Doing some sweet romantic things for her, trying to prove that, she's different. She's special, right? You're doing all this extra shit. Then when it's time, after all that work that you put in to say like, look, you should come over. You should chill. And she's talking about, oh, I would love to do that, but, something came up. Even though she told you 2 days before that she's free on Saturdays. I ain't got shit to do on Saturdays. But when Friday night comes around, you trying to plan some shit, you talking about, oh, yeah, something came up. Right? So this is how I work. Now, maybe something did come up. I have my doubts because you told me every Saturday night you're free. I asked you that shit 2 weeks ago because, I plan ahead. That's how I do. That's how I operate. I plan ahead. You know what I mean? So when I make moves, I make them strategically. But hey, maybe something did come up. I don't need an explanation. I'll take your word for it. So what is my expectation after you basically stood me up, essentially? You told me you were free, but then all of a sudden you're not free. So what is my expectation after that? Because I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. My expectation from that point is I'm not going to fucking ask you anymore after that. I'm not going to ask you next week for the next Saturday and the next Saturday after that because I don't chase, I don't follow, I don't beg, I don't plead. I know my value, I know my worth. You want a piece of this, you can come and get it. That's my mentality. You want to know me, you want to be a part of this world, it's up to you to step into it now. I've done my part. More than what most dudes do out here. So what is my thought process? It is now you gotta make sure that your actions speak louder than words, because I've already given you the benefit of the doubt. I've said, oh, maybe she is busy. Shit. 2, 3, 4 weeks go by, still talking. She's still acting like she's cool with you. She's still feeling you. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for her to ask me when I'm available because I want to come chill with you. But she never asked. She never asked. Because she was never that fucking interested anyway. Or she got too many plan B's and C's and D's. And she trying to make you a plan X, Y, and Z. You on the bottom of the list. You are a convenience to her when she needs you to be a convenience. But I'm a fucking convenience to nobody. But you see, that's how boxing works. Actions speak louder than words. Now, if she would have came out the week or two later and said, oh, hey, are you, by the way, I know the last time we couldn't meet up, but are you free tonight? I'll come by. Bet. Yeah, I'm free. And if I'm not free, I'll make myself free. Because I appreciate that you're willing to show action. You have proven your worth. You have proven that you are an honorable and honest person. And see, that's why I'm not quick to judge people. I'm not quick to judge Bud Crawford. I'm not quick to say this man's a liar. This man is full of shit. This man ducked Errol Spence. I'm not quick to go out on a limb like that. But actions speak louder than words. He had an opportunity to prove that actions speak louder than words. And he could have came and said, yo, Errol Spence don't want to fucking fight, bro. I try to make it. I'm going to fight this young lion, Boots. I'm going to beat Boots' ass. Because if I can beat Boots, then I'm not afraid of Boots. Why the fuck would I be afraid of Errol Spence? And hit that fire emoji in the fucking chat, because that's exactly what it is. No different than the same chick that couldn't have actions speak louder than words and fucked you around for multiple weeks. And then she talking about, oh, you know, have all these different excuses. And then you go out on a Saturday night to the club and you see this bitch chilling with this lame ass dude. Skinny jeans, lame ass looking motherfucker. And you're like, damn, you turn me down for that? Oh, okay. Guess what Divine Sense Boxing does? I go to the bar, I get a drink, and I keep it moving. I find the next good-looking female that's on standby. And that's what I'm going to do when it comes to Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. I'm going to keep it moving and go on the next fight that's on standby. Which is what? From what I heard, Caleb Plant of Benavidez is about to fight. I'm going to put my energy where my energy is deserved and respected. So, I promised a lot of people, and K-Rod, I see you, bro. I'll let you cook in a second. I promised a lot of people that I'll give my thoughts about Bud, because a lot of people hit me up. Oh, yeah, Bud, did you see his live, bro? Did you see his live? What do you think? What do you think? So, I gave you my perspective. I gave you my thoughts about what he said. I didn't watch the whole damn. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do the full 20 minutes. I got 13 minutes into it. I think that's pretty good. Okay. You can rewind the tape if you missed it. There are some oddities. There's definitely a lot of question marks. A lot of scratching my head moments with the things that Bud said. And in a nutshell, the dude has just became his own promoter, and he's trying to wear the promoter jacket and the promoter cap and come out and try to convince the people that he knows how to conduct business and try to put together a fight with PBC, which is a fight, like it's the biggest fight that we can possibly get right now. And none of this is his fault. It's all PBC and Al Heyman. That's what he's saying. A promotional company that has a track record of putting on numerous of big fights together, big money fights, trilogies. But that's cool. Like I said, maybe Divine Sense is tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I need to just calm it down a little bit. Maybe I don't know all the information. Maybe Bud's right. Maybe Errol Spence just doesn't want to fight this man for whatever reason. Maybe Al Hammond doesn't want Spence to get close to Bud because Bud's too much of a threat. But Bud fucked up, in my opinion, when he elected to fight a guy who is not ranked in the top 3, who's not a legitimate threat to him. And to me, it's a maneuver to make sure that he gets paid, to try to send a message that, like, to me, it's a message. I'm Bud. I'm my own promoter now. I can go to this promotional company and get whatever money I want. And I'll fight whoever the fuck I want. And y'all just got to deal with it. Y'all got to accept it. That is the message that I feel like I'm receiving from Bud Crawford. But if he were to make this maneuver and it's boots, I mean, what can I say? I mean, I might not like the fact that the Errol Spence fight didn't happen, but it's like, it's boots though. You know what I mean? Like, he's fighting his number 1 mandatory. He's fighting the dude that's right underneath him, knocking at the door, who is a legitimate threat, a much bigger threat than David Avianson. Facts. Actions speak louder than words. Y'all remember that, man. Remember that. We're going to cook on Benavidez and Plant. Don't y'all worry about that. That shit's coming up. I can't wait. K-Rod, you came in here, bro. So let me know what's on your mind, man. And I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I think at this point, you know, Crawford should just be completely ignored out of the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's really considered to be viable, unless he switches it up on us, and then he's just using this fight to get ready to fight Errol Spence. But, you know, my question is like, why didn't you fight Errol Spence, you know, the minute after you beat Sean Porter back in 2021? Because you literally sat out for like a whole year. And not to mention, just to let y'all know, Terence Crawford, he's not committed, you know, to the sport fully. Like, you know, he's like more, you know, he's more, you know, into like going out in public, hanging out with like his homies, like Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, all these famous, you know, rappers and celebrities that he gets invited to go out to these like events. But, you know, for guys like Errol Spence, he's not doing that. He's not coming out of his way doing stupid stuff and getting, you know, connected with the public. And Errol Spence, he wants to prove that he's like the best, you know, fighter out there. And to my mindset, it just doesn't make any sense of why you would hold this fight for such a long time, because Errol Spence, you know, he made it clear, I'm going to get my belts on my side about the street, and then after that, I'm going to see what's going to happen with you. And now here we are. It's like Errol Spence is just being consistent with what he believes in, to say that he wants to be the best fighter in his division. Because if people gave Crawford the benefit of the doubt to say he had the same mindset as Spence did, then there shouldn't be any dispute to say why Crawford is holding up this fight. But there's more valuable evidence to show with, you know, the evaluations off of both teams, that Team Crawford is the ones that don't want to push for the fight. Because if they did, then Bomac and them, they would have been very active to push, you know, for the fight. And, you know, like from what I, you know, heard, you know, from at the very, beginning point when Spence beat Ugas, Crawford said to Spence, "Hey, keep my belts warm. I'll be sure to get those belts and, you know, beat you and, you know, go about, you know, like my way. And then after that, I'll beat up on Charlo," right? Like, obviously that's like a paraphrasing statement, but still, it's like you have to keep these receipts on the Crawford more than Spence, because Spence, he doesn't have anything to hide. Crawford has more to hide than Spence has to hide, but it's clearly adamant that Crawford does not want to be who he is, a pound for pound #1 great. And I've said this to plenty of other people that are, Bud supporters or, YouTubers that like Crawford, but it's like, they can't come out, with like a proper response to tell me why Crawford is pound for pound #1. And whenever I come out with like the argumentation, against why people make this weird defense to say that he is, like a all-time legendary great fighter, it's like, what makes you think he's he's all that great? Because Crawford doesn't do anything special. He got like the switch hitting, like ability, but that doesn't help him. He still gets beat up. He doesn't do anything super duper spectacular. He's not fundamentally gifted. He doesn't keep himself defensively responsible. And then on top of that, whenever he gets beat up, he fights very frustrated, trying to go for broke, trying to knock out his like opponents that are usually low level. But it's like throughout his past 5 to 7 like opponents, like you can't compare those opponents to beat Errol Spence's like opponents. Because with Errol Spence, he's been doing all the heavy lifting. He's been making sure that he is who he is, to which, honestly, to me personally, Errol Spence has gotten way better after the car accident, which I'm not saying that's a good thing, but just look at the development of what Errol Spence is. You gave this man more time to think about his actions versus going after Errol Spence when he was in that stage of not being super duper disciplined. Because what EJ said, predating to the Sean Porter fight, he obviously said that he had like a fat camp, right? Errol Spence said that wasn't good, and he basically admitted to it. He wasn't focusing, and after that accident, that's what made me support Errol Spence a lot more and respect him as a man and as a true athlete, because that's something what a man comes up, in front of his own actions to be responsible for and take ownership for. But compare that to Crawford, he doesn't do that. He's very deceitful. He turns his back against his own people, and he doesn't come to the table. So, to me personally, Errol Spence has done everything he could to be successful, and I would hope he beats the living crap out of Crawford if they could ever get undisputed made. But it just seems like that Crawford, he doesn't want to fight Spence. So if I'm EJ, I probably make like one more farewell goodbye fight to 147, beat up Keith Thurman, or go after Jaron Ennis and then just move up to 54, because we all know what's going to happen at 54. Like, Errol Spence is basically going to have that division made for him, and then we'll probably see Jaron Ennis maybe, but I think Boots is going to get undisputed first. I don't see Crawford staying at 147 for too much longer. I think he's going to get beat out quicker. I think Virgil Ortiz, Boots, Amantas Stanionis, all the killers that are on the come up, coming from 140 up to 47, and the ones that are still not known yet, that could make a huge mark at 147, those are going to be major big threats. So I think, right now, this is Crawford's last chance to just get the biggest money possible. And, your best bet is to go after Spence. Getting this fight with David Avanesyan does not help you become a richer person. If anything, it actually makes you a less richer person, because you don't know if you're going to get a return off of your investment, with all these lesser competition fights that are not going to benefit you. I don't know if Crawford understands that, but it's like these business marketers that are backing behind him through Black Prime or whatever, these are people that are not as rich compared to other promotional platforms. And I don't know what he's going to be doing for the rest of his career, but if he's okay basically getting cutthroat deals that are not going to be favoring him, which they're just going to say the same thing what quote-unquote PBC says, in which PBC, by the way, they're not a network. PBC is just an advisement boxing business firm that's ran by Al Heyman that obviously works with Fox, which Fox, is like a mega corporate network firm that has like billions of dollars being generated almost every single year. So, the thing is like when people say PBC is going broke or Showtime's going broke, that's really not true. It's just that, when it comes to their budgeting, maybe to a particular degree, they probably don't have fights made for certain fighters because they want to have like a certain time frame to make sure that fights are properly built up. But still, it's like they have like a way better business model compared to any other promotional platform that doesn't get to their level. But for Crawford's case, he's not a marketable asset anymore, and he never was. So, if I'm Crawford, you should cash out with Spence, and then if you beat Spence, go after Charlo. But I don't think that's going to happen. And even if you do lose to Errol Spence, I don't think Crawford understands that it's actually not good to just feed off of Spence's name and fight a bunch of bums, because what's going to end up happening, if anybody understands the variance of market economics, the supply and demand curve still works in to any variable strategy. So if Crawford is choosing to not fight valuable opponents for the rest of his career, his stock will go down and he will be completely fine with it, I assume. But the supply and demand curve will still factor in to show that Crawford's not making all this big time money. And compared to Errol Spence and all the other big time fighters, they're going to be making bigger money because they're putting in that work to be great. So case in point, Crawford better make these moves, or some young hungry killer out of nowhere is going to probably take the spot, and he's probably going to be treated like I don't know, like if anything, he might as well be treated like Keith Thurman. He's going to be sent out. He's going to be fed up fed to somebody that's that people have never heard of, where he'll end up getting upset about somebody that's actually willing to beat him up real bad. But either way, Crawford's not doing a good job financially, and his decisions clearly show that he's not wanting to be responsible for his own personal decisions. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, interesting perspective, man. And yeah, I appreciate you dropping in that different perspective. It's always good to have that. I try to stay as indifferent as I possibly can. I think deep down in a lot of our souls, we just wanted to see the fight. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to sit up here and critique all this shit. I think for a lot of us, and some people think that it's entertainment, and people actually enjoy attacking fighters and accusing them of this, that, and the third. And maybe there are channels that like it, but I don't. You know what I mean? I'd rather be excited and talking about the fight happening. It should have happened at the end of this year. That's when it should have happened, and that's what we should have been talking about here lately, is dropping our predictions and getting excited about it. And instead we get a disgusting taste in our mouth. And now we're being kind of force fed, in a way, this Bud David Avianson fight. And I don't like being force fed. And Bud's out there talking about people steal fights, and people use fire sticks, and people don't pay for pay-per-view, and this and that. Well, it's because of actions like this that people don't buy fights, because champions fight number 4s and number 5s and number 6s and number 8s and not even 4s and 5s, really. Literally, David Avianson, for some sanctioning bodies, is ranked 8 and 9, and some he's not even ranked at all. So how do you expect people to pay $50 for it? And that's the thing, is that I just can't be. It blows my mind. It blows my mind that the things that come out of fighters' mouths sometimes. And now that Bud's his own promoter, his mouth is even bigger than it ever was before. So y'all better get used to it. PGH Big Dog, what's good with you, bro? I appreciate you dropping in here late, man. But look, been going live for a while. I've said what I needed to say. Y'all came in late. You can rewind the tape, get my live reaction to Bud going live on his, I believe it was his IG, explaining his side on why the fight didn't happen. So y'all can go check it out. And we had a few little bumps in the road with a few trolls trying to come in here, but that comes with the territory. But nonetheless, man, I'm gonna get on with my day. It's Friday for me. I'm trying to enjoy my Friday with peace and prosperity, and not try to let this shit affect my mood and my energy. But if you guys haven't heard, Caleb Plant and David Benavidez, I believe, is about to go down, and that's something that we can be excited about as boxing fans. So I'm gonna start to shift my energy and time on some real shit. Bud is fighting this dude in December or whatever it is, and it is what it is. You know, that's the bottom line. The fight between him and Spence is not happening anytime soon. I guess we're kind of on standby to see what Spence is going to do next, on rather he's going to, you know, move up to 154 or fight Keith Thurman. I mean, there's a lot of strong rumors that that's what it will be. We'll wait. We'll see. And I'll give my thoughts once things are sealed and delivered and verified. But until then, man, I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate everybody's time and patience. Thank you for coming in and hitting that like button, for all the people that dropped in super chats, and for anybody that became an official member of the channel. Much love and respect. But I'm going to go ahead and call it and be on here again as soon as I can. So y'all stay up, stay strong, stay positive. Peace.